Hey, this is Beverly. I will not be denied Bozeman. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I appreciate it so much. Be sure to share this broadcast with your friends and your family. So I was in the store the other day. I was in the $1.25 tree store. And there was this little girl. I think she might have been about 4. And she was crying. She and her mom were passing me, and she was crying, right? And she was like, no. Typical, kid stuff. And I heard her mom say, "You're not going with me anywhere else because you don't know how to act." Like, I heard that before. So I knew that she was just gonna have a little fit, right? Honey, they moved. I was going towards the back of the store. They were going towards the front of the store. And the further away they got, the louder she got. That didn't make sense. So it was like she turned up the volume. Her mama didn't say nothing, like be quiet or stop it or nothing like that. She just, just let her have her fit. And she got louder and louder the further away she got. She was straight having a fit, a temper tantrum, right? And it was getting on my nerves. I ain't even gonna lie. When it comes to stuff like that, I don't have no tolerance for it. So I was like this close to putting my stuff down and just leaving. Just like, because I got my own opinions about that. But it came to me this morning how that must be. I heard his voice in my head. This is probably how God hears you when you throw your tantrums. I was like, wow. Because I throw tantrums sometimes. They're not often. But when situations are not in my favor and I have been wronged, or I feel like I have been wronged, or I don't throw things and cuss people out. I just have my version of a tantrum. I scream about stuff. Sometimes I scream at me for making choices that I knew better. I knew better to not make, I should say. And when I heard that thought, it was just like I felt so sad. I was like, wow, is that how God sees me and hears me when I have a fit, when things don't work out? Not just I'm being a spoiled brat because I didn't get my way, but when I had my hopes set on something working out a particular way, or I believed what somebody had said and it turned out to not be true. And I didn't like it. I didn't like when that little girl was having her fit. But God's not going to throw his stuff down and walk out. When it comes to when we disappoint God, I think he treats us individually. And when we have those moments when it seems like God is not listening to us, we have to evaluate and say, is it because I'm throwing a tantrum? Am I being a brat? Because for me, when I throw a tantrum, and I'm being honest about my mess, I do throw a tantrum. God, this ain't right. This ain't fair. Why you let them do this to me? And, but it's like God folds his arms and just wait. You done? Now, get up and go do right. I know they did you wrong, but just get up and go do right. Because this is a prime example. I can't give too many specifics, but somebody sent me a message, and they included some other people in the message, right? And they were pointing out something negative about me, and it made me feel some kind of way. Now, I'll be honest, my initial reaction was to let them have it. How did the old saying go? Let the chips fall where they may. But in my spirit, I know I didn't need to, because nothing good for me, nothing good comes from me reacting or acting out on my emotions. I knew what I needed to do. I knew what I wanted to do. But the need to overrode my want to. So I replied to the person, and I did not have to reply at all. But I said something along the lines of, thank you for acknowledging that. I appreciate your help. Pretty much, making it known, wasn't aware or whatever. And it's weird. That's the first time I ever did that, because this particular person does stuff like that to me. It's nothing to them to point out things that I have done wrong or I was wrong about, mistakes or whatever. They have no problem with that. And normally I won't say anything, because I'm like, I know me. Because if I say something, it's going to go to the left and it's going to be a whole bunch of mess. But I replied differently, and I felt differently. I felt like I won. I know that's crazy, but I felt like I won when, I felt like I won. I really do. I felt like I won when I replied in a way that they had no clue that I would ever do anything like that. And I think God gave me a little check mark. Like in kindergarten, we get a little check mark. We used to get a check mark for doing good. I think I got a little check mark or whatever. But back to the original story. When we go through stuff and it's like nothing tragic, you know what I'm saying? But just like paper cuts. Could it be that we have thrown a tantrum in some kind of way? Don't got to be screaming and yelling. It could be in defiance. Because the little girl kept telling her mama, I'm not going home. She kept saying, I'm not going home. Because her mama had threatened to take her home because she was misbehaving in the store. And she said, you're not coming with me anywhere else. And that was the fire starter. But then along the way, she said, I'm not taking you with me anywhere else. And she said, I'm taking you home. I'm not going home. I'm not going home. I have, had those type of tantrums with God. I ain't gonna talk to her no more. Don't send her my way. So when we have these situations, like, dang, why does this keep happening? Could it be that we have had a tantrum and God is just like, okay, I'm gonna fold my arms and let whatever happen because you're having a tantrum. It's not even necessary. That's, just something I wanted to share with you guys. Everything doesn't always mean something when things happen to us. But when I saw that little girl cutting up, hollering and screaming, whoo! Lord have mercy. And her mama was just like, like it was nothing. Had that been my child, I'm not saying nothing about her parenting skills. Don't get it, get me misunderstood. But I just would have stopped that. I heard Dr. Phil say to a parent one time when the child was known for having tantrums in public, and the mom and dad would try to negotiate with them. Dr. Phil was like, just leave everything in the store and take them home. They will learn that this is the consequences of their behavior. And I'm like, well, where in the world you live at? To where you just gonna drop stuff, take them home, and then come back out another time. Who got that kind of time? Especially if you deal with a lot of traffic. Or you live kind of far away from that particular store. I ain't finna do all that. There's a bathroom available for the public. Me and homegirl would have had a serious conversation, depending upon my nerve situation. If I had half a nerve left and you want to pull something like that, how the saying go back in the 70s, 70s, you get knocked out where you show out. Anyway, I know I'm rambling. Sorry, when it comes nowadays, when it comes to talking to you guys, I believe this here phone holder came from the $1.25 tree. It sure is acting like it. It didn't, but it's acting like it. Anyway, when it comes to talking to you guys, I just have so much to say. I know I just be going off on tangents, and I'm going really back in. Now, that's one thing I know I will do. I will get my storytelling under control. So to sum everything on up, when we have to recognize when we do things or say things or even think things. Is that what is being considered having a tantrum? Could that way of behavior, or could that behavior be the gateway to negativity in our lives? Could you possibly change your reaction or your response, or even the way you think about situations, to where it would shock people in a good way? Like that person that I responded to in a good way, they may or may not, because some people just evil, they may just decide not to do that anymore. Quite possible. So when we run into those type of situations, you know, here's a piece of homework for you. When we're faced with the typical situation, this is not life and death, you know, fight or flight. This is how we behave or how we handle the situation will determine how it goes. And we just, you know, handle it in the way that we normally would. If you're old enough and you remember like the ABC after school special, they gave us solutions that were real corny. We look at them now as corny, because like don't nobody really live like that. But those ABC after school special replies, if we handle our replies or our actions or even our thoughts in a way that they taught us, could it change our lives for the better? Anyway, I hope y'all understand what I said, because I did a bunch of rambling, and I know I apologize. I'll do better next time, but I hope y'all just get the gist of it. Anyways, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Be sure to release your genius, pull off the impossible every day. Remember, you will have whatever it is that you say, so be positive when you speak, Queen.